Welcome to a video from thislife.com. This video we'll be looking at the TX7, which is the small desktop version of the DX7. This came out in 1984 for about 700 quid. I'm going to be asking, is it still a valid synth to have in 2023? And the same with the DX7. We're talking about the TX, I'm looking at the TX here, but the DX7 is exactly the same synth. You can't do any programming on the front with the TX7, you've got to all use software. I use a program called DX Manager, but you can use the free DX VST and send the sounds over. So what I'm going to do in this video is demonstrate some of the sounds and see whether they're still valid. The demo track you heard at the beginning, here in the background now, was completely created with the TX7, no other instruments. I did sample the TX7 and put those samples into Uno drum, and I've got a sample pack available for if you've got an Uno drum you can have these drum sounds, but all the sounds are from the TX7, which, like I said, it's the same as the DX7 without the keyboard, no programmability. For MIDI, I'm controlling this from one of my other synths, so we're playing the demo sounds off my Korg Radius keyboard, but it's the sounds of that here. If you wonder what that is, by the way, that's the Behringer Solina String Ensemble. I've got a video of that on the slide. Right, so let me move the camera around, we can have a look at the front of this, and I'll play some sound examples. I've got in here some of my favourites, some that I use quite often, so again we'll listen to them. There's a touch of reverb on these patches, which that touch of reverb is just from my mixer, nothing complicated. Some of them respond better than others. I have got a Solina String Ensemble connected up so we can try a bit of Solina processing on some of the string sounds as well. But anyway, the first sound I have on here is the Super Bass 2. The Super Bass 2 comes from the DX7S and the DX7 II. So there's a couple of parameters that didn't copy over, but actually I really like it. It's a bit more aggressive than the E-bass that you hear in all the, especially when the DX7 came out, all those things, Danger Zone. So this, I find a bit more aggressive, so that's why I like Super Bass 2. Here's a good one. This is a pad, Ambi-Pad. Sounds nice with the reverb on it. A bit of extra processing like the Solina. Really brings it to life. So it shows you what you can do with the DX7. You know, to dry they sound a bit basic. As soon as you put some effects on, I think they sound brilliant. So here's one called T-Banks. I got off DX, I think it's a Tony Banks from Genesis patch. With a bit of modulation from the Solina, it sounds lovely. And even without the Solina, just the dry sound, I really like that. Here's another one. This is called Layered Strings. I do like this. Again, a bit of modulation. This one here, I don't really use this for Minimoog. That's pretty good, but I must admit I don't use that very often. The brass ones. Very DX, but still usable. Here's a good one that I do like that's a bit different. This is called ElectroBak. This is from the DX7S demos, or DX7S presets. No modulation on that one. got a couple of bass sounds, a bit more synth type bass. So the synth sound you heard at the beginning of the demo song was a synth sound from this, and that was then triggered by the arpeggiator of the mod. It's actually the sequencer, I think, called Reload. You notice on this, very responsive. So I think the the FM sounds really work really well with a bit of touch response. For example, you can get some nice guitar sounds, and I think they sound really good as synth sounds. More of them in a minute when I go to my favourite ones. Again, touch sensitive. So you need a good touch sensitive keyboard. That's one of the issues I think with the DX100 that I've got, is the built-in keyboard isn't touch sensitive, so you've got to run it through a MIDI keyboard to get that out of the best out of FM sounds. So this is what I do like. This is called Strat Guitar, and I've used this a couple of times, but I think it reminds me of sort of Jan Hammer Miami Vice. Called PPG Strat, again found on the internet. So this 12-string one is a 12-string guitar, but it works really well in lower registered with some velocity. Again, reminds me of Tangerine Dream. So another one that sounds great. Here's an almost choir sound. It's kind of got an eerie sound to it. Let me chuck on a little reverb and a bit of ensemble as well. And even without the ensemble, just go stick the reverb. Yeah, I think it sounds really good. There's another one I like using. This is a Marimba, but sort of a DX version of it. It sounds really good sequence, this as well. I haven't got my sequences set up while I'm doing the recording of this audio, so I can't really show you. Here's the classic electric piano. If you love electric pianos, particularly 80s electric pianos, then you can't go far wrong with this. I have got one that sounds even better that I'll play in a minute. Flute. Nice flute with maybe something, again, early Tangerine Dream comes to mind, but any 80s stuff with that. Where I find it less useful is sort of synth leads. I've got one here. Still got its own character, but I found it less useful. Here's one that called FullTines is the electric piano sound, and it's upped the brightness a bit to give it a really proper 80s sound. Here's what I got from the DX1 factory preset. DX1 is a huge version of the DX7, or 2 DX7s in a massive cabinet. They only built a few of them, but this is from the factory sounds. That's called Tune with Bells, but of course it's the bell that was used in the Top Gun theme, and also the bells used on lots of 80s synth sound. At Christmassy, maybe a few 80s Christmas hits use that. I've got a couple of effects I use. Simmons one is quite. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I've actually taken some of these sounds and put them into the Uno drum, so the Simmons effects on the Uno drum from the FM set that I produced is that sound exactly. And there's loads of presets with those kind of on there as well. The TX7 has 32 in memory at once, and of course you can just, from DX Manager, you just transmit them via SysX, so you can use the full array, or I tend to put this kind of the 32 I'm currently interested in at the moment on here. So here's one that another one that reminds me of Jan Hammer Miami Vice, especially when playing in low registers. This one with a string pad. It's quite bright. Does have that 80s string feel to it, and you can of course warm it up with a bit of effects on it. So some of the patches that I've loaded in here to my TX7, I really love the velocity sensitiveness of them and the sound, that 80s sound that you get from that. But a bit of FX, especially a bit of reverb, it sounds like really nice. I like the TX7 in particular because it's a nice portable version of a DX7. It's a lot cheaper. This cost me 250 quid a few years ago. A DX7 at that time would cost 500-600, and now they're even more. So it's great. Responds to MIDI, no editing on the front panel. You've got to use software for all of that, or a DX7 and just transmit it from a DX7. It's fully SysX compatible with the DX7. But I use DX Manager, and there's tons of presets you can download into this to give it a try. If you like the sounds and don't want to try the hardware, you can get DX to VST, and you can try all those sounds in a VST. And I must admit, it sounds pretty good. There's something about having a box, but yeah, it does sound pretty good. So thanks for watching this video. You can find out more on our YouTube channel on itslive.com. I've got videos of the Solina that I've been doing these sounds through. You can see how I did that. And I've got drum machines from the 80s and lots of stuff. So please like and subscribe and all that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.